Hey there, thanks for watching. This is Laura Wansick, and I've got a really fun stamping technique using some Distress Oxide inks and Ali Edwards stamps for a little embellishment strip on a double 6x8 layout. So what I've done is I've cut a couple of strips that will fit right here, and I thought that I would just cut a couple so that I have extras in case I make a mistake. But I don't want to work directly on this paper because I already printed it out and I deleted the journaling and I don't want to have to retype it. So just to keep this safe, I'm going to put these away and work on these strips. I might actually just go ahead and do them both, and then I could use the other one for another project. So a while back I did a reorganization of my clear stamps and I put them on these plastic sheets. I have a video up that you can check out if you're interested in how I did this. It's really helpful. I'm really thankful I did it. But basically I just arranged my stamps according to the type so that I could search for them more easily, and it's made them much more usable. I'm really glad that I did it. And check out that video if you want to see more about that. So I'm going to be working with some of these little circles here and with this little alpha set that I released with Ali Edwards, and then also these messy circles from Ali Edwards. I chose 3 Distress Oxide colors, Festive Berries, Speckled Egg, and Scattered Straw, and I chose them from my little swatch book that I have here of all of my different inks. And when I was choosing them, I was thinking both whether they match the photo, but also I was thinking about how they're going to interact with each other. So they happen to be 3 primary colors, so I know that when the red mixes with the blue, it's going to be maybe a light shade of purple. When the yellow mixes with blue, it'll be green, and so forth. I've definitely mixed colors before and not thought about that, and then ended up with some unfortunate shades of brown that I didn't intend. So I'm starting out with these messy circles and just laying them down to create a pattern. I'm going to be doing a resist technique, so I'm going to start by stamping these with Versamark and embossing them with white embossing powder. You'll see that I've got that anti-static bag there. I highly recommend using it. It makes a huge difference when you emboss so that the powder that you put on, the embossing powder, it doesn't stick to anything other than the Versamark sections, and you get a much crisper embossed image. Here I keep my white embossing powder here in this plastic tray just because I use it so frequently and I don't have to get out the little tray to clean it up every single time. So I have not heat set the embossing powder that I've poured over the stamped images, but what I'm doing is I took that letter E and I stamped in the powder before I heat set it to remove some of the embossing powder and left the E impression, which is kind of a cool technique for getting more out of your stamps. I'm working here on the Waffle Flower Mixed Media Mat. It's great. It's heat resistant. You can get it wet. It's silicone. It sticks to your work surface, and it also kind of holds the ink pad there as I am moving the brush around it, which is great. So I'm just using a blending brush here and moving in kind of a circular motion over the paper, just doing it in a few different sections. And then I'm going to blend the other colors in. Each of the colors that I have kind of has their own brush. I only have 5 blending brushes. So sometimes I'll use the red one for pinks and oranges, and it really is fine. I find that not much ink stays on the brushes. Right before I use them, I brush them a little bit on the mat to clean them off. That way I don't contaminate whatever ink pad I'm working in. But I feel like you don't need that many, at least not for the way that I do this. So you can see that the colors do mix. When I put the yellow over the blue, it does have kind of a green type hue, which kind of takes us back to that kindergarten color mixing, right? See how I just rubbed that brush there on the surface and realized I had a lot of ink on it. But then I thought that's actually fine because it's red and all I'm going for here is red. So the key to getting a nice smooth blend is to blend over and over again. So I'm going to start here again with the yellow and go back in and go over it again and again and again until it's all mixed really well. And you might think, oh, those embossed parts don't look good, they're all yellow, but we're going to go in with a rag at the end and wipe them off, and they will be white again, which is the beauty of this resist with embossing technique. So going back in again with the blue until I had a nice image. I pulled the photo over there to see how it looked next to it. And I realized I just wanted a little bit more blue because there's so much blue in that photo. And I wanted to make sure that it went really well with it. And then pulling in the yellow once again, just for a nice blend. I wanted to add some shine, so I have this sheer shimmer spray. Tried to shake it really nicely, which is important for those kinds of things, especially if they've been sitting in your drawer for a while and kind of need to be mixed well. So you can see that it was really shiny when I pulled it up, and I'll show it again. And now I'm taking a cloth and just wiping over those embossed areas to really bring that white shining through there. So I wanted to have kind of a title for the layout, so I stamped a stamp from one of Allie's past story kits that says, "Thank you for the gifts you have brought to my life." First, I stamped it with the same ink color that I used in the ink blending, the speckled egg, Distress Oxide color, and then put some clear embossing powder over it so that it was nice and shiny, because I thought that that would really add to the texture of the page. Then some finishing touches here at the end. I've got these really fun holographic chipboard hearts from a kit from forever ago. Put it there in the middle. And then I take my rolling date stamp to put a stamp there in the bottom circle. And then last thing is just to go ahead and put this strip on my actual journaling page. Put a little bit of white border on the left there. And then voila, another page done and memories documented.